Friends, you must have helped many of the poor and those who are begging in various markets, but what if you suddenly find out additional ways to support them more effectively? That the scammers you are assisting have deceived you and left you. In this video, I will show you shameless beggars caught red-handed. I will show you these deceitful beggars, and once you see them, you will begin counting down each of your own personal hardships carefully and thoughtfully. Friends, at first glance, this deeply moving video might make it seem as though the Punjab police are deliberately attempting to toy with the innocence of a poor, vulnerable girl who is facing challenging circumstances. This poor, desperate woman was begging in the streets, having become soaked by removing her dupatta in order to feed herself, but the police noticed her in the act. But who could have thought that behind her disguised act was a hidden trap? When the policeman pulled her dupatta, she revealed a photo of her father from inside. Seeing this scene, even the devil would lose faith in humanity. Friends, now what I am about to show you is that the Dolphin Police of Pakistan caught this frail man drenched while begging red-handed. He had tucked one arm inside his shirt, acting as if he had no arm so that people would have mercy on him, and their intention was to drench him thoroughly with water. However, when the police officer waved his magic wand, his arm safely rose out of his shirt. The main thing is that, brother, to escape the police's clutches, they've even started apologizing themselves. Besides that, this masked beauty you're seeing is actually a conspiracy orchestrated by Dad's fairy. He was disguised as a woman by wearing a burqa, and the roadside was yearning to get wet, but it didn't know the charm of the case has caught the police's attention. Next, you're seeing the antics. He was approaching people with his cut-off arm. When his shirt was opened, the real surprise was revealed inside, but this guy was so shameless that still, he wasn't willing to admit his mistake. Besides that, this Jubaida you're seeing was also pretending to have lost her hand, but as soon as his band was removed, not only was his entire hand revealed, but the funny thing is that he was moving it like a normal hand. Well, the condition of beggars from Pakistan and India is such. Looking at them, it seems that even Satan might be deterred. Friends, the beggars you are observing here right now might just as well carry the name DJ Beggars, considering the way they lie on the road while performing acts. This makes them look less like beggars and more like TikTokers. On their part, they were pretending to be like Lula Langda and acting wise with their eyes. And the poor people were giving generously, sincerely believing it to be true. But as soon as they failed to notice it, he cleverly took advantage. He would lift it so that no one would even suspect his involvement, but as soon as it fell into the hands of the police, miraculously, not only did this suspect regain his eyesight, but he also began wandering again. The officers started to pay attention to his livelihood. They also wanted to take him to the station so they could interrogate him, but he began negotiating and making excuses with them so that they would let him go. Well, if you have found any shampoo like this in the market, please let me know in the comment box. Friends, this beggar is originally from Bangladesh, and on a daily basis, he spreads a sheet on a street and lies down upside down, and he acts as if he has a serious illness. Initially, the neighbors kept giving him money, but one day they became suspicious of him. They all gathered around him and started questioning him. As soon as he saw whose scandal had been exposed, and if not for knowing the public would cause an uproar, he quietly rose, gathered his sheet, and left the place. All the people were watching him closely as he made his silent exit. It seemed as though he had miraculously stood up or was on the verge of leaving, but no one knew that deep down he must have been contemplating that. The public might turn against him somehow. Anyway, no matter what, the number of kicks such people receive is still too few. Friends, you've probably seen many beggars inside the market. But have you ever seen a multi-professional beggar? Well, this fraud you're seeing has ties to Bangladesh. It doesn't have one, but several multi-skills. Sometimes it folds its hands and feet and starts crawling on the ground, or sometimes bends its hands and feet to walk like a polio patient. Moreover, it can place its legs on a cane, and he also possesses the ability to crawl adeptly on the ground. As you can see in the video, this guy is exceptionally skilled and impressive. A pro-level beggar, all day it poses like this to ask for a beg, and the poor people, considering it harmless, keep giving it money. And the funny thing is, each and every time it's finally time to go home, it unexpectedly just starts crawling on the ground, then awkwardly begins to walk straight ahead toward the door. And people don't even notice it. When asked how it can make such unique and good stances, it said that it has been a beggar since childhood and is an expert in its work. It truly is formidable. Friends, the people you are seeing. There are 3 shameless beggars living in India. Among them, one sits crippled in a wheelchair and there was a white-bearded Baba. He pretended to be blind while his companion helped him beg for alms. Seeing their gait now, it seemed as if these people were Muslims. One day, these people were begging outside a house. The homeowner caught them. Initially, they had tried very hard to appear respectable. But the homeowner realized that it was all pretense. When he asked what relationship those people had with each other, they said that all 3 are the Baba's sons. When this man took their ID cards, they all lost their composure. But this man, when he inquired about their caste, he discovered that they were not Muslims, but Hindus, and they identified themselves by wearing topas. They were pretending to be Muslims. At first, these people tried very hard to explain themselves, but as soon as the homeowner mentioned calling the police, these people quickly fled from there. Friends, giving this beggar makes it seem as though this poor fellow is actually disabled. And Bana thinks that he must have received alms for this. However, Punjab police are also experts against Pakistanis. They had started surveillance. As soon as he went out to beg with his begging bowl, they caught him. First, the police officer took his alms bowl and then they made it do a little exercise. Life entered the bones of the shampoo, which had never been so inactive. And not only that, but when its pool was opened, it began to laugh shamelessly like the bold ones. It became clear it would attract much attention and no one could save it. Friends, you must have heard the saying that thieves act like peacocks. Similarly, this shampoo had faced a similar situation, pretending to be a beggar with sticks. It was acting by propping itself up on its hands from the ground. It also had a hat basket into which people were putting money, but some people became suspicious. They engaged in an enjoyable game using the object. One of the participants carefully lifted its basket and swiftly ran away from that spot to determine just how large of a beggar it was. Immediately after he had noticed that someone is just using its hat to run away. So all its begging stopped, and it, along with those begging sticks, started running to retrieve its money. The funny thing is that it didn't even think that people would see through its trickery and then it might get scolded. But it only had its basket and money. Nevertheless, this scene was truly worth seeing in real life. Friends, the shampoo that you are currently seeing was recently exposed by some people walking along a road in India. It was cheaply acting as a beggar on one side by giving a coat of paint to another side so that it could beg from the people. When these people noticed that he was mocking, so it was stopped and his shirt buttons were undone. When the buttons were unbuttoned and checked, Brother Sub's hand inside was completely safe.
Thank you for watching. If you like the video, hit the subscribe button below and like the video. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, hit the subscribe button below and like the video. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, hit the subscribe button below and like the video. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, hit the subscribe button below and like the video.